Hello and welcome to the Memory Arcade, and welcome back to the Long Halloween, our little Batman retrospective as it pertains to video games. I gotta start with something unpleasant. Which is to say, that is the wrong side. Bear with me for a second. So, if you're watching this live, you're watching it on twitch.tv, a streaming platform that I quite enjoy streaming on, and that I quite enjoy watching a lot of streamers that are dear to me stream on. And yesterday, on Thursday the 8th of October 2020, GamesIndustry.biz broke a lengthy story, an expose on the work culture at Twitch, and it was based on numerous accounts of inappropriate behavior such as sexism, racism, sexual assault even, sustained mobbing, human resources siding with whoever was more powerful in any given context rather than the accusers, or, did not act in the interest of the worker by and large. And I tend to believe such accusations because people stand to gain far less than they do from just keeping their mouth shut and, leaving the company, moving on with their lives. And we've seen in recent weeks and months companies like Ubisoft were positively infested with a similarly toxic and damaging work culture. And I am not monetized on Twitch. I suppose I would like to be one day, so it's not exactly in my best interest to bring this up, but I also don't want to stream on Twitch and just do nothing or not say anything. I feel I have to bring this up. I have to bring up this expose. I have to call it to your attention as a viewer, so that I can stream on this platform with a clear conscience, and if any kind of collective action on the side of streamers emerges from this expose, I'll weigh more options on how to participate in those. For now, let me just link you the article as it was published, and for now let's move on. Move on to the games we're playing today. Ooh, let's go from something unpleasant to something slightly less unpleasant. Hello, Succulent Club. How are you? Yeah, so after Warner Brothers made Batman, and then Batman Returns, and then this one, they were like, yeah, Mr. Burton, if you come back, you get to do the movie however you want, and there will be little interference. Oh, you're good, I'm glad. And so he made Batman Returns, and Warner Brothers was a little shocked just how much pure, unfiltered Tim Burton deviates from marketability. Like, they looked at the Penguin and they looked at Catwoman's shape and outfit and were like, we can't make Happy Meal toys out of that. And I'm not sure if that was a significant aspect of Tim Burton's departure from the franchise. Oh yeah, they were unhappy. Parents were unhappy. Yeah, but for the first one, they got like Burton on a short leash, and then he was like, "Yeah, I will do another one, but if I come back for another one, I want more creative control over it." And they were like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead." And then he made the sad little deformed Danny DeVito Penguin and the BDSM Stitches Catwoman. So, so I'm not sure if they just booted him or if they were just trying to assert more control. At the end, Tim Burton. No, that's fine. I discussed it on a previous stream, mostly. So I'm not sure what exactly the dynamic there was that led to Tim Burton leaving the movie, and with Tim Burton also Michael Keaton left, so they had to get a new they had to get a new director and a new star, and they found him. And I was this close to saying the director's name was Michael Schumacher, and that's bullshit because that's a Formula One driver from Germany. No, Joel Schumacher, the recently deceased Joel Schumacher, who made a movie that was still kind of in the mold of Burton's original concepts and visuals and design, but also leaned more towards his own sensibilities, and yeah, I don't have much to say about Michael Keaton in the role. Like, he doesn't have the wit or the stoicism of Val Kilmer in the role. He doesn't have the wit or stoicism of Keaton. He's just kind of there, and he's fine. I mean, he was always gonna be upstaged by one of the villains because they cast Jim Carrey as the Riddler to have him play the Joker, more or less. Like, his Riddler is essentially a Joker in terms of characterization. So is Tommy Lee Jones's Two-Face, which is weird because Two-Face is usually a more subdued villain, but they made him a cackling maniac for this one too, because everyone wanted to be the cackling maniac, who I guess gets over well with the crowd and earns a bunch of money. I have no idea. By the tone of my voice, you can already tell I didn't like that movie quite as much as the previous ones. Back in the day when it came out, I was all on board because I was a teenager and I loved Ace Ventura. And yeah, it took me years to even realize how problematic the end of the first Ace Ventura movie was. But to this day, I have a soft spot in my heart for Jim Carrey. Like, I think he can make you like, of course, his strange, cartoony weirdo characters. But yeah, sometimes he just plays oddballs and just kind of outsiders, and he does that very well. And there's hints of it there in his Riddler performance. But for the most part, he just goes full ham, and that's okay too. Like, Joel Schumacher was sort of way more about, flashy, bright, intense colors, a lot of neon, and the set designs are in his movie spectacular. Gotham looks wild. and the costume designs are really cool. And yeah, this was a movie that for the first time didn't just have sculpted muscles on the batsuit, but also rubber nipples. Like very stylized, angular, but the bat nipples, and everyone was so mad about the bat nipples. And I think part of the fallout from that was just homophobia, because Joel Schumacher at the time was one of the few bigger names in Hollywood who was openly gay. No, his name is Joel Schumacher. I previously almost said Michael Schumacher. And that's an entirely different person. And honestly, Schumacher does a good job here. The way he envisioned those movies, because he got to make another one, and that's a different discussion for in a little bit. But yeah, very different aesthetically. So what did we get video game wise? And this is where it starts. You know, the previous games, the previous movies gave us usually some solid games. Oh. I honestly can't tell if you're being sarcastic about your preference for Formula One. My dad was into it, so I know a little bit about it. Anyway, here's where the troubles start. A claim. Kind of a... And probe. Dear God. I don't even recall if this music is from the movie at all. Anyway, let's set this to easy. We'll also be on Infinite Lives for once. We get to go between Robin, who looks like he's, I don't know, stuck in a... He looks like he's stuck doing the robot. Whereas Batman is like being a very gentlemanly British boxer. Kind of like this music theme for some reason. Also, Batman looks really sinister in this. Yeah, we get to choose our gadgets, and I'm just gonna pick some stuff I remember from the olden days as being somewhat useful. And yeah, I should probably look up the combinations. Oh, the button combinations aren't even there. So as you can see, they went for digitized photographs. Which is, I mean, sure, it's not the worst choice you can go for, especially since Mortal Kombat was really turning heads with its art style. But obviously, this idea of let's photograph an actor in costume from the side and turn this into a sprite. Emergency band transmission source. Arkham Asylum. Two-Face has staged a breakout from Arkham. Has freed inmates to cover his escape. Backup needed immediately to subdue inmate riot and restore order. Yeah, this kind of takes place right before the movie, because the whole Two-Face breaks out of Arkham. That doesn't happen in the flick that's just mentioned. Yeah, so what kind of game do we have? Well, we have a side-scroller that is not pretty. Like I said, all these assets, they don't have aged terribly well. For once, B doesn't let me jump. It's the low punch. We have a high punch and a low punch, and a low kick and a high kick. And you jump by pressing up. And yeah, it's exactly like a fighting game, because I guess they were just all really horny for Mortal Kombat, so they didn't just mimic its technology, but also its graphics, but also kind of how these games play. Oh yeah, I mean the Batman sprite looks okay, and I guess this one also got a lot of passes and cleanup, and solve my riddles and to secrets be led, if they aren't already over your head. Thank you, Eddie. Oh, they get to jump. And another fun thing, so they were like, okay, let's put attacks on all the face buttons. But we need a grapple, because it's not really a Batman game if you can't go around with the grapple. Where should we put the grapple? On select. They put it on select. And it's not just that you just press it and he does the thing. No, you have to be directional about it. And since up is also how do you go back down? Okay. Anyway, since up is also jump, you have to just time it just right to also work with up. So that's already a mess, and not something you can ever do. Fast or reflexively, and there's no option to change to maybe put here's a fun thing, one of the shoulder buttons isn't used. L protects you, but the R button is used for an alternate control scheme as it pertains to attacks against enemies behind you without turning around, which is neat, I guess, but discover the treasures revealing their jewels, open their locks with your world of tools. I mean, he might have just told me. Also like how all these characters have names, and this is Matt Paul. Hello, Matt Paul. Credit is given where credit is due. Come round again and you'll get a 2. Okay, so I will return to this area. How does one go down again? Ah, down and down. Well, he's the Riddler, not the Riddlemancer. That actually is called the Riddler. I mean, in many versions, the Riddler and the Joker are very different characters. Both in their stylings and their, yeah, just their whole deal, but, I guess you had to know that. Also, oh, since this is Arkham, I guess those are for electroshock therapy and not executions. That makes it not really more okay, I guess. Anyway. But yeah, I guess everyone who had watched the 2 previous movies was like, hey, let's kinda do the Joker again with a Batman villain who fits that mold, more or less, with the gimmicks and the colors. And have him cackling like a maniac, even though that's usually not his thing, and we'll hire Jim Carrey and we'll make $1 billion. I'm not sure how much the movie made. It was a success. Like I said, the movie is not half bad, but you can see it's pretty transparent in its characterization calculus and how they just approach the whole project. They wanted something very marketable and they got it. By the way, I'm trying to get off Hadoken movements here to throw a batarang, because that's how you're supposed to do, but the timing is so abysmal. It's like it's like they never played a round of Street Fighter in their lives. So yeah, your gadgets are tied to fighting game type special moves that barely work. And that's really all you do. You have very limited platforming, because with that jump, why would you have more? And then you're just doing... a Mortal Kombat take on let's beat up Arkham inmates. That's probably a discussion to be had, that the whole idea of mental health in Batman is kind of fucked up, in the sense that he routinely beats up violent criminals, or rather violent, the criminally insane. And it's not something the franchise really questions all that much, even though it is kind of victimization of the differently able. And to an extent, I'm not that down. That was the level, huh? Hmm. Does it remember what I previously picked? Yeah. And to an extent, I think these deconstructionist takes on Batman are... Two-Face is holding security guards hostage at the second bank of Gotham and is in the process of stealing the safe holding the city pension funds for the past 2 years. Of course, everything with twos. Anyway, where was I? So some of the more recent deconstruction takes, like, let's do a more compassionate read on mental illness. Sure. Although Batman has always had that in its DNA. A lot of the villains are tragic because they are sick. They're still vilified, and yeah, I guess there's something to be said about that. But a lot of it comes less from a place of actual concern, but seems more motivated by, kind of dishing on something popular and being very smug about it. Similarly with the whole, Batman is one of the 1%, that was very popular during the Occupy days. And sure, you could write this whole story about Bruce Wayne wanting to prevent other kids from ending up like him. Very different about him using his fortune to fund maybe initially the police, and when he realizes excessive policing is not something that just works. Maybe other programs. And just basically let his billions do the talking, rather than... Wait, you're actually supposed to do that? And not do the Batman thing at all. And yeah, sure, that's... I guess they could write it that way, and suddenly you are doing a story about Jeff Bezos developing a conscience, and that's interesting, but you're also no longer doing the whole masked vigilante, slightly more modern take on Zorro. Yeah. There's also something to be said about the fact that however much realism you introduce into a property like Batman, you can do varying degrees, and it's okay for a version of Batman to be just fanciful escapism and adventure and crime fighting in the Saturday morning mode, rather than the yo, life is complicated mold that, say, the Christopher Nolan movies pondered. Like one game that I'm actually really looking forward to playing is another beat 'em up gameplay wise, but it's an adaptation of the animated series Batman the Brave and the Bold, which is a silly cartoon version of Batman. It is corny, it is very self-aware, it is colorful and bright, and it's just an all-around fun experience, geared towards younger viewers, but, still accessible to older ones, I suppose. And, it's the fun, swashbuckling escapism that's been part of the franchise for a long time. And yeah, you can work with that, and you can make it about that, and not try to be socially conscious. I mean, you should always be, to a degree, socially conscious when you write something, but the whole millionaire who becomes a mass vigilante and goes out into the night to stop crime. This is something that can still work without, I don't know, completely missing the point of our era. And similarly, you can do thoughtful takes on mental illness in either format, and depending on how real you want to go, you will probably come to different conclusions regarding Batman's, whether he does more harm than good, etc., etc. And these are all worthwhile to exploring, and some you do just to have fun, some you do to have fun and maybe also go a little deeper, or maybe engage in some deconstructionism, and yeah. It just seemed media purity isn't possible, and if you try to subscribe to it completely, you would have a lot less types of stories. Yeah, and even with characterization, like I mentioned before, that to me the Batman from the animated series is kind of the ideal representation of the character for me. Like he can be a little grim and brooding and very driven, but he's never cruel, he's never overly violent, or at least tries not to be. Oh well, howdy. He's and he's very compassionate, and he has a line of never taking a life, and he sticks to that. Thing is, like the only thing I really enjoyed about Batman v Superman was Ben Affleck's complete dumpster fire of a Batman who has just stopped giving a shit a long time ago. He's a complete burnout. He endangers life with an absolute recklessness. He and he just doesn't give a damn anymore, and you can see it in his eyes just how done this guy is after doing this for 10 or 20 years. And this burned out CrossFit training man-meat take on Batman, with Alfred usually wearing army fatigues in the cave and having a glass of hard liquor in front of him while he does home-based support for Batman. It's far away from what I would like to see in a Batman story ideally, but it's entertaining to me because it's just this, well, not the worst case scenario, but it's pretty bad, and I can still enjoy that. Just like the really campy and often corny takes on Batman that we see in the Adam West show and The Brave and the Bold, where he spouts completely unironically lines like "crime doesn't pay." I'm also down with that. As a woman, I do not want female villains. I want complicated female characters regardless of their goodness. Yeah, and I'm looking forward for one to Cheetah in the upcoming Wonder Woman sequel, because she has the potential to be that. Just, I guess, someone who wanted to feel powerful, and she kind of went, like, I'm not sure how exactly her story is gonna play out in the movie, but just the idea of someone who wanted to be powerful and maybe at some point looked up to Wonder Woman, and then she got a chance to be powerful, but kind of went too far. There's something there. And it's worthwhile exploring. Crime does in fact pay. See light taxes on the rich. I'm gonna have to ask you to take this stuff to the Bernie Sanders Twitch channel. I'm kidding. Also, the thing about the whole, well, Batman is actually one of the rich, and why doesn't he use his money to help the city if he wanted to do that, or if you wanted to address that but still have your Batman story, you can fix that narrative with a throwaway line, or just a little scene where Batman realizes, oh fuck, I'm pouring all this money into these programs, but it just doesn't get to the ground. It's because the system is so corrupt that all the help he offers is just like pouring buckets of water into the desert. Which, you know, is an issue with a lot of initiatives to help underprivileged regions or people. Good grief. Up and select. And same with the police. Like, I mean, the idea of Batman just heavily funding the Gotham Police Department probably doesn't really play well in 2020 to begin with. But that's actually a point that a lot of Batman media has successfully made. That just trying to get more policing done in Gotham would just put more corrupt cops on the street. Because even upstanding folks like Jim Gordon are a finite resource. Yeah. Anyway, what is there to say about this game? It's as boring as it looks, and I'll see if there's maybe a boss fight in our future. And if not, that's fine too. I got 3 more games today, and I didn't really get to make that point earlier, but they all honk to varying degrees, because this was a dark time for Batman games. You know, the end of the 16-bit era, beginning of 32-bit, 64 and so on. Like, after this, I'll put on a game from the PlayStation, the original PlayStation. After this, I got 2 from the GameCube. And I'm kind of glossing over a couple of half-decent adaptations that were on the that were also on various consoles and were made in reference to the animated series. Stuff like Batman Vengeance and Rise of Sin Tzu, which weren't terrible. Those were passable games. Problem is they were developed by Ubisoft, and as I briefly mentioned earlier today when I was talking about the issues, the internal issues at Twitch, Ubisoft games are on my personal blacklist and probably will be for a long time, if not indefinitely. And I'm already kind of bending my rules because there have been some shitty workplace allegations over at Rocksteady, and we're still gonna play Arkham Asylum. But I'll certainly mention it and link to respective resources so that you can all be informed about it. Because I just don't want to do this thing where I play a game and talk up the studio. I mean, I really talk up developers to begin with, but you know. This whole deal of just going, yeah, the game's so great, and I've read horrible things about what goes on at the company, and I'm just not gonna mention it because the game's so great, you guys. I could be making a full-on living on this platform, and I would still not want to be that person. So this was actually a pretty decent stunt in the movie, where they, like, Two-Face has this weird plan of taking the entire vault out of the bank by helicopter, and the vault itself was also slowly filling up with acid, which makes no sense. And Batman is inside of it with one of the guards he's trying to rescue. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, but it's exciting. And also really like I mentioned before that Val Kilmer was not that great in that role. He also wasn't bad, and he had his moments. Like for one thing, something I really like about that scene in particular is that the guard who is in the vault with Batman, as the vault is carried by helicopter through the city streets, and there's a growing pool of acid beneath them, and Batman has to crack the vault from the inside, I guess, and he's just calm, cool, and collected the whole way through, and he's like, I'm gonna need to borrow your hearing aid, and takes the guard's hearing aid, and he uses that to crack that safe. And I mean, sure, you could wonder why he just didn't have something like that in his belt, but you know what? It's a nice, like, I like it when Batman is clever about stuff, like when the whole world's greatest detective thing is played up, and when he makes clever use of technology and just shows an acumen that goes beyond jumping from rooftop to rooftop and punching people. I still think, given the fact that HBO and DC Comics are basically under the same roof company-wise. They should have made a prestige Batman HBO show a long time ago, because they could just focus on moody procedural stuff on some episodes and save budget on that, and then just blow it all out when they want Batman to balance on a police blimp over the skies of Gotham while dodging missiles or some shit. Because if Game of Thrones is any indication, that's how you can make really effective and we're fighting clowns, because of course. You know, just a really expensive star-studded TV show. Your HBO shows, your, you know, something that's on cable rather than network. Usually also comes with a, or very often also comes with a with a higher age recommendation due to violence, sex, or language. Game of Thrones was very much that. High budget, long runtime per episode, like more of an hour rather than 50 minutes or 40 minutes. And I think this would really work for Batman. Because in a TV show, you don't have to do the whole thing of, oh yeah, all the villains are so cool, let's put like 3 into a movie and none of them have enough screen time. Instead, you just do multi-episode arcs about respective villains and you can have them come back. Basically what Gotham was, just with more cash and actually being set during Batman's active, you know, time period, instead of being a prequel. You mean prestige in the way it's used in the Christopher Nolan movie, The Prestige? Actually, what is the prestige for a magician? I guess just how well his trick goes over with the crowd. But yeah, prestige as in prestigious, and the prestige as it's used in that Nolan movie, which I had never heard it that way before that movie. I will say this, for a game that is very flawed and boring and not that pretty to look at, I enjoy the soundtrack. It's not a super great soundtrack, like, and it has nothing to do with the score of the movie, but it's kind of funky. It's just entertaining. Yeah, no, the circus scene in that movie was not that funky. It was tragic, because Robin's parents died. But, yeah. Not that big on the funk. Yeah, no, that didn't happen. Oh my god, I managed to set off a batarang. Death by Vuvuzela. Creative. Oh no. It's just gonna dump me on the previous screen. If we get a game over because of the time limit, because there's a time bomb in that scene in the movie, we'll move on. Huh. Did I mention that platforming in this feels really bad? Because in order for the cape to engage, you don't press a button. You press up on the D-pad again. Oh, it was here the whole time. That sucks. We lost like 2 minutes on this. There's more time over there, I can see it. But we're getting stun-locked by literal clowns. Um, shouldn't this work at some point? Welp. Guess the circus blows up. I also like how there's no guidance where anything opened up. It's just game over. Oh wow, and it boots you to the start screen, so you can play this whole charade again. F this game. Anyway, let's go from bad to worse with Batman and Robin on the PlayStation. So, they made another Batman movie. We're deep into the 90s by now. And it's kind of a similar deal in the sense that Joel Schumacher just more or less made the movie he wanted to make. And I suppose what he had in mind was a kind of an updated version of the Adam West TV show, just in movie format with big effects and big stunts and big stars. And that's a great theory. I mean, that's a great concept on paper. And then someone had the idea to cast Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze, the tragic villain Mr. Freeze, defined by...
A freeze is coming.
Oh god, they even use voice samples from Arnold. Oh. Anyway, yeah. The idea wasn't bad. Just everything else about this movie kinda honks. Like it... I guess a lot of folks watch it as a guilty pleasure, and, yeah, it just didn't come together very well. Mr. Freeze is at large and looking for power. Use your detective abilities to decipher the clues from to the time and place of his next crime. You fight gang members and henchmen, they may drop a clue or a useful item. There may also be clues hidden away in stores and secret rooms in Gotham City. The more clues you get, the more chance you have of beating Mr. Freeze to his next crime. There are already 2 clues in the Bat computer waiting for your analysis. Walk up to the console in front of you. Press do to start. They couldn't even put in the fucking icon. Yeah, there shouldn't be any guilty pleasures. Something, Monday, Friday. It says Gotham City Museum. We already know where he's gonna strike. Enhance. Email. Gotham City tourist map. Oh god. Did he expect me to retain any of this? Yeah, I'm trying to combine it. Obvious that Mr. Freeze is planning to steal the Sudan diamond from the museum. Well, I'm glad we did that. I mean, any Batman game. What? Did I exit the computer or did I exit the game? I mean, any kind of Batman game that gives you, actual detective work to do. I'm a sucker for that. And, dear God, Bruce, what have they done to you? I mean, I know you're the Batman, you don't get a lot of color, but could they somehow design the game so you would stick out from the background a little bit? Oh, and he controls like a tank, but in the worst way. Anyway, George Clooney played Batman in this movie, because Val Kilmer, I guess, was no longer available or no longer wanted. I heard he can be difficult to work with. Chris O'Donnell comes back as Robin. I cannot for the life of me remember what the name of the actress was who played Batgirl, who was also in that movie for some reason. Anyway, the big thing is, there's no gas button. Oh, but we sure put a gun again on the Batmobile. That's important. No, by pressing forward on the D-pad, you accelerate. Oh, there's a mugging. What happened? Am I just dropping gas pellets like it's Christmas? Wow, what is happening here? Is this like their attempt at an open world game on a console that simply couldn't? You've picked up a clue. Yeah, but I'm not gonna go back to the Batcave to evaluate that. Picked up a power cell. What do I need a power cell for? Does the Batmobile just stop moving at some point? I'm sure this is fine. I'm sure Alfred will get those dents out. Oncoming traffic, always my favorite part. See? The game is already... Why are there tanks in the middle of... Okay, this one just went and exploded itself. I guess that's good. Yeah, so the last game we played... Okay. The last game we played was... not super well received. But some folks thought it was okay, you know, news outlets at the time. This one, not so much. Like this one, people looked at and were like, what the fuck is this? It controls like ass. You have no idea what you're supposed to do. It's ugly as sin. And, why is there an alarm ringing? Why can I not interact with that? Can I not run in and stop the muggers? No? It's just for show? It's just for irritation? Can I drive this police vehicle? No? God, this alarm. I think I just ran over an ice cream truck with my car. And I guess in this game, given that Mr. Freeze is the villain, an ice cream truck might be okay to run over. Well, Batmobile exploded. That can't be good.
Prepare for a bitter harvest. Winter has come at last. Pretty aggressive driving there, don't you think? Jesus.
How am I supposed to get out of here? Well, stop the mugging, because I shot the mugger with the car, because Batman, I guess. Oh god, this controls like ass. With turn and acceleration on the same D-pad, it's no bueno. Yeah. So where was I regarding the movie? The idea was to make a campier flick that, you know, it's just good-natured fun and all that. And sure, to an extent, it does that. But it's also way over the mark when it comes to camp. Like they were like, how about our villains, Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy, speak almost exclusively in ice and plant puns, and that will make up for characterization and any kind of thoughtfulness that may be brought to those characters. Wouldn't that be great? It wasn't great. And it's a testament to Schwarzenegger's enduring appeal as an action actor, or, you know, sometimes even dramatic actor, that he still had an acting career after this. And same with Uma Thurman. You've arrived at the museum. Exit through the gift shop. No. Wow, the frame rate is really taking the piss here. Truly a game on par with Metal Gear Solid and Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. Did Batman just gas himself? Anyway, that was Batman and Robin for the PlayStation, and that's all we're gonna see of this abysmal game. As you can see, this is where the whole Batman game curse really took hold, and we're not done with the bad parts yet. The bad parts.
Tonight's forecast. A freeze is coming.
No, it's not. I'll be back in a couple minutes, and then we're gonna be playing something that originally came out on the GameCube. So it will look marginally better, it will likely not play better. See you in a few. And we're back. Okay, so we're jumping around a little bit in the timeline of Batman games. Let me just bring up when this was released. 2003. Oh. Yeah, so this one had some ambition behind it. In the sense that... Oh, I muted it. Oh, should be fine. There we go. This one had some ambition behind it, because they wanted to make a Batman game not tied to any kind of movie or animation property, but directly into the comics. They called it Batman Dark Tomorrow. Seems kind of cool. And yeah, let's dive right in and see how long we last.
Father.
Daughter, you are just in time.
Oh god, no.
To set in motion a chain of events that will forever change the history of the planet Earth.
A Ra's Ghul plot.
He'll try to stop you, will he not?
I have already anticipated his involvement. If all goes according to plan, you will see him soon enough. Yes, my lord. It is time. Begin the second phase of the operation. Yes, my lord.
It's cute how they're dancing around the fact that... Oh well. It's a Ra's Ghul plot. He wants to do James Bond villain stuff because that's what he was invented for, and I guess this is Gotham City. I mean, I see a blimp, so... That's supposed to be Wayne Manor? Pretty wild.
Don't run too far ahead.
The pacing in this is... Oh my god, he hit her right in the pearl necklace. Wait, the time that opens the cave is the exact time his parents died? So twice a day the Batcave just opens for no reason? Someone couldn't afford an animation for the cowl. Also, is the car just dialing into the internet via modem? What's interesting to me is that I see a lot of Japanese names, so I'm guessing this was a Japanese studio, and a Japanese studio taking on Batman, especially when taking stuff from the comics rather than any kind of movie. Yeah, I see a lot of ambition there. And some interesting potential, but I think that's what everyone had to say at the time when this came out. They're playing my song. Oh, that's just uncalled for.
What the? No! It can't be. You're not real!
Bat cuffs can be used to restrain enemies. Cuff them quickly so they won't attack you again. One bat cuff. Ha ha ha. Two bat cuffs. Ha ha ha. Three bat cuffs.
Oracle, what is it?
I've intercepted part of a satellite signal directed at Gotham.
From?
Unknown. Whoever sent this was good. From what I could translate, the message spoke of a large arms shipment.
Good work. Find the origin of that satellite transmission and who sent it.
You got it, boss.
Batman out.
The roof of Gotham Police Headquarters. Use the bat cable to swing, and the bat grapple to move up and down. The universal tool. Guess that works. Shit. I like how it just booted me into a game over screen rather than whatever these things are. It also didn't give me this choice earlier. Yeah, so this is our walk cycle for the big ambitious Batman game. I gotta check real quick if this is actually, like, did I just forget to bind the Right stick. No. It is bound. Meaning there's just no camera control, I guess. Let's see if we can even make it to Gotham PD. God, what were they thinking? Like, I know making these games is hard, but show a little acumen, especially when you have such a prestigious license on your hands. Oh no, I get to swing. I guess, maybe? Hello? Let's give the game every benefit of the doubt. No, I mapped all directions of the stick. And the swing does something, but not really? Oh my god, did we make it? Oh, not quite. But I guess we're a little further. This is kind of heartbreaking because you can see that they put a lot of... Oops. A lot of effort went into some places in this game. Like, they wanted to have the whole thing. Like Batman running across rooftops and the whole deal. And the grappling hook and the fighting and the big epic story fighting Ra's al Ghul and they could have made such a game on the GameCube, I'm sure. So this is just a shame. Okay, I guess. Oh no. Yeah. Thanks for watching all the same. Lurking is always a-okay with me. Well, at least there was a checkpoint. A little bit of contextual climbing, I appreciate that. Welp. Roast chicken, walnut, pomegranate, sauce, small roast potatoes, sauteed. Oh, good thing I ate well tonight. Gear deployment, offensive mode, defensive mode, stealth mode. Sure. God. You know, this feels like an N64 game in terms of the really awkward control scheme. Like they just did not yet know how to go about and do these things. But I feel that by the time the by the time the GameCube came around, some of these things were kind of solved problems. Also, it really doesn't bode well that the first real task for you in this game is to navigate Gotham City rooftops through a series of instant death jumps just to get to the fucking bat signal. I guess we're just kind of fucked. Yep, we're just kind of fucked. Because we can't climb up? What the hell? Why can't he not just climb up his own damn line? Nothing fancy, just going through the motions. I like how the contextual climbing works on some stuff, but not on every ledge, as you would expect. Or how he won't grapple or grab onto some certain things. Okay, one more try. And yeah, if we're just getting stumped, or if I'm just getting stumped here on this first level, I guess, then that's it for Dark Tomorrow. I would much rather play something that is marginally better. Come on, Bruce, you can do it. Whee! He could do it. He couldn't do it. Fuck. God. Are there gonna be complex levels later on in this game? I'm curious to watch a playthrough just to see what this game has in store in terms of, you know, cutscenes, voice acting. Also, is there no glide? Like, the cape does nothing in this one? No idea why it caught me on the backswing there, but sure. Speedrunning for this game must be wild, because games with such fundamentally broken controls can usually be exploited in creative ways. Interesting, he sometimes does the little flip in midair if I press jump again. Sometimes he does not. Sometimes he's just like, eh, you don't want that extra forward momentum, trust me. Pancaking on the pavement is preferable. I mean, maybe he just knows what this neighborhood is like. Okay, but now if I use the bed grapple... Okay, can I now just ascend? Wait, what? What? Why can't I ascend so I can actually save myself? Bruce! Okay, are we going a little higher? Not really, no. What? Our hero, the Dark Knight, world's greatest detective, accomplished acrobat and martial artist. Oh, God. Yeah, this is a bad game. And, it kind of breaks my heart because I can see the ambition up front. But yeah. That's it for, Batman Dark Tomorrow. Moving on. After Batman Ruin bombed really hard, critically and at the box office, that movie franchise went dormant for a good long while. Until up-and-coming auteur director Christopher Nolan took a crack at it, cast Christian Bale and Liam Neeson and Cillian Murphy in a movie called Batman Begins, and I suppose the rest is history. Oh god. Oh god. Suddenly one of those games finds its volume, huh? Yeah, so anyway, this is another movie adaptation, but one that I guess fared better than the last couple of ones. It's not Arkham Asylum, but from what I've seen of it, it's better? Like, better than the drivel we've played so far today. Apologize for the stutter, not sure what's up with that. really want that. Nah.
Fear. Fear murdered my parents. On the far side of the world, I tasted fear in its purest form, and thought I had conquered it. But fear followed me home.
Okay. I would say that a mugger with a gun murdered his parents, but let's not mansplain. This was made just a couple of years after Dark Tomorrow, or released a couple of years later, and you can already see that you have
Batman's coming.
I guess we murdered a dude.
He's real. Batman, kill him! Somebody, tell Crane! What the hell is the Batman?
The voice acting is just wonderfully bad. Yeah, how about that? So, Bruce, are we saving all these thugs who are now in a burning room? No?
We've got arson.
I've alerted the fire department, sir. You should be able to find an exit to it, building.
Not until I find Crane.
Oh, this controls so much better. This controls like a video game. Not sure where we got that footage from, but I also like that the fire just gets worse to the point where we're struggling to breathe. That's a neat idea. I think that's where we came from. Oh, that's not an option. Those guys won't be in
What? What? Get up! Come on!
in the Dark Knight.
Coming down!
Yeah, we're making no effort of saving these dudes. Ooh. That was the wrong button.
What about the Gimp? What about him? You're gonna leave him locked up while this place burns?
Watch it!
Hell yeah. Crane's got the poor bastard gassed out of his mind. Tear our lungs out if we took him off that chain. I say let him burn. Put him out of his misery. Hey! Hey, friend.
I guess Batman was like, oh, well, let's see if they murder each other. Yeah, so combat doesn't feel super great, but it's better, certainly. Huh. We got a double jump for that defies physics, but I'm absolutely okay with that.
That was Carl. He says the Batman's here. Double timing you two. I want to be out of here now.
Going as fast as you can, careful with those matches.
Hey, hey! This place is already burning! This place is gonna blow!
Oh no! Yeah, but was it a medical kit, or a bat medical kit, or a medical kit?
Right. All set then. Sorry, my darlings. But I have what I need. I'm afraid you'll have to stay here and burn with the rest. Batman. Fascinating. I'd kill for a look inside of your head. But luckily, I've got my patience to do that for me.
Why did he open the door for us? Was he just like, oh, I'm gonna take a peek at Batman's corpse? Oh no, he's still alive. Who would have thunk? And we're in for a good time. Are we in for a good time? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh. We're on fire, but also so high.
It was the same fear that made me become.
Become what? Become a dancer.
In the darkness of my parents' murder, I caught a glimpse of something I've been looking for ever since. I lost myself in the world, searched in all the shadows.
I seek the means to fight injustice. To manipulate the fears in others. You must first master your own. Are you ready to begin?
Mostali Kalifal, Maksura Nune Gune Pashadiye.
Raz Al Ghul says that if you want to be Death's journeyman, you cannot fear it. Ready or not, Death does not wait. Death is not considered.
Good Liam Neeson impression.
And make no mistake, in this chamber you are facing death. Do not return to this room until you are ready to join the League of Shadows.
Where's there this email icon? Do we have unchecked messages that... Gadgets... yeah. That's better. I always like a game that tries to go without a HUD.
This way, Wayne. There is no space in the League for hesitation.
I appreciate that they give us a one level as Batman before they start with the whole League of Shadows skullduggery.
You've already tempered your fists. I know you understand violence, but anger alone will not win your battles. The ninja is thought invisible, but invisibility
Where is he pointing?
largely a matter of patience and
How are we watching this?
Attack one of the 3 men before you. Show me you have the wisdom to be ruthless. Wayne, if you run, you will be discovered easily. Stealth.
What kind of...
your greatest ally.
Like, his climb animation is hilarious to me. Have you ever seen a person climb a ladder like that?
Enemies with weapons are the most dangerous. Always attack them first, without mercy.
We did a stealth.
A foolish choice, Wayne. One of your opponents was obviously armed and the greatest threat. By attacking either of the others, you only exposed yourself. Try again. Excellent, Wayne. Destroy the strongest of your opponents first, and others will fear you and fall at the mercy you deny them. We'll carry on.
He also consistently called him Bruce in these flashbacks in the movie, so him just going Wayne the whole time is kind of feels a bit jarring. Pretty lighting though.
You would not have come to this place if you were seeking out the easiest path. This way is barred. Find another way through. There are more ways around a door than a key.
This feels pretty fluent. It's not quite, it's not quite Assassin's Creed, but it's getting there. And I mean, by that point, the Sense of Time Prince of Persia games had been coming out, so smooth traversal was not really an unsolved problem.
Throwing weapons are a ninja's hand, not his fist. By them, a man alone may surround and confuse his enemies. Shuriken wait before you. Take them, and I will train you in their use. Shuriken wait on the far side of those flames. Jitsu will make you invisible and immortal in the minds of your enemies, but you will still be nothing but a man.
Nothing but a man.
Always mind your surroundings, Wayne. Every gift is a potential trap. Look around your environment for opportunities, Wayne. Your environment will only work to your advantage if you make it do so. Use the shuriken to create a path before you.
Oh look, it didn't throw us to a game over screen. That was my bad. I mean, just because I can doesn't mean I should, right? I guess I should?
What is the passphrase?
You can't enter there until you have completed one last challenge. Follow me.
What's the passphrase? Tie-in product.
In the room beyond, you'll find your next to final test, one of intimidation. The 3 ninja in the next chamber have been instructed on pain of death to keep the passphrase from you. Don't make your presence known until you've become a wraith in their minds. I've left you a gift in the room beyond. Use it to convince them you are more terrible than death. They will give you the words. Use the wires above to cross without alerting the men below.
Did Ducard tell you what to expect? Quiet. I don't trust Wayne. He's not one of us. There is a violence to him.
All the more reason for silence.
Violence?
Use your environment.
You ninjas.
Break the support cable with the shuriken. Show them fear.
Oh yeah, that will scare them. I'm sure.
Wayne did that. He's out of his mind.
He's one man and still in training. We can handle him.
Now, Wayne, they are ready. Weak with fear.
Are they? Oh. Their pulse is actually shown there. There's a violence to him. Look at him.
Stay back. I'm not scared of you. You know what I want. Please. Don't.
Where is the Snicker stash?
And I'll make you wish I would. What's the passphrase? Please. It's Looking Glass. Don't tell Descartes I told you.
That last line made no sense. I'm so ready to be Batman again.
What is the passphrase? Looking Glass. Welcome. What is this? I guard the explosives. They're safe, ready for your return to Gotham. It's not safe. The explosives could easily be set off.
I thought you guarded them and therefore it was safe.
Even you may not pass here.
I guess... yeah.
Welcome, Wayne. We have come to your final lesson. Lower the prisoner in his cage. Excellent. Now, come here. We have purged your fear. You are ready to leave, ready to become one of the League of Shadows. But first, you must demonstrate your commitment to justice. He is a murderer and a thief. He cannot be allowed to live.
No. I'm no executioner.
You must have the will to act, or you are not fit to lead these men into Gotham.
Gotham?
As its favorite son, you are ideally placed to strike at the heart of criminality. That city has become a festering wound of suffering and injustice. It cannot be saved, and must be allowed to die.
You can't believe in this.
Wayne, what are you doing?
What needs to be done?
Oh no, the well-guarded explosives!
On a full way, you will die.
Yeah, do we know if that murderer and thief ever made it out of this inferno?
This way out. Quickly, you can escape.
Gotta love how the place where all the explosives were is basically unscathed. No, not Qui-Gon Jinn.
Ra's al Ghul, the League of Shadows. They were nothing but ashes now. My mentor had shown me everything I could find without losing myself. So I left Descartes behind. I came back home. Show the people of Gotham their city doesn't belong to the criminals and the corrupt. As a man, I'm flesh and blood. I can be ignored, I can be destroyed, but as a symbol, I can be incorruptible. I can be everlasting.
What symbol?
I'm thinking a clown. Clowns are scary. Sure must be the Gotham Dogs. Oh, it has a reputation system. That's kinda neat.
I found a security camera view of Falcone, Master Bruce.
He's close.
He is, sir, and closely guarded. I dare say something's given him cause for caution.
I can separate him from his thugs, but he's arranged for a police presence as well.
No doubt corrupt, sir.
I still can't attack them directly. I'll need a way around.
I'll search Gotham records for an alternative route. If I may, sir, you do have an optic cable. It could give you advantage on what threats these doors hide.
Show off. That was pretty neat.
Some kind of costume.
Let's talk. Who? What are you? You're one of Falcone's men. What's he doing here?
Please, you don't know Falcone. He's horrible.
I'm here. He isn't. And I'm worse. What's he doing?
Smuggling. Shipments come in from Southeast Asia weekly. Falcone cuts them up, hands them out to his dealers, but...
Keep talking.
Something's different this time. Something's happening in the sewers. And Falcone wouldn't start pulling favors with the cops unless he was... Unless he was what?
Jesus, Bruce. That man has no lower intestine anymore. I guess there are various ways to get to those guys. It's not really a door. Oh, look at that. Get the old glide back. Oh yeah, no, we don't wanna go through there. Can we do detective shit on the computer? No? What's with this climb animation? I suppose I could do that. I could just open the window, that's good too.
Alfred, any news from police radio on boats?
Yes, sir. Gotham police have at least one squad of marksmen on the water. I wouldn't suggest putting yourself within their range.
Then I'm gonna need access to the sewers.
I'll mark the nearest entrance point on your radar, sir.
Sometimes the cape is really not a great thing. You can definitely see some stuff that later went into the Arkham games, at least inspiration-wise.
We'll put some hustle in it. Falcone wants us on standby in that van, and he don't like to ask twice.
If I may, Master Bruce, the number of men waiting in that van may be too great a force for even you to take on single-handed.
Only if it's a fair fight. That forklift might shift the odds a little more in my favor.
Are we gonna Shenmue this shit? Hot, hot, hot.
What's got Falcone on edge?
What in the name of...
Falcone brought a small army for a simple cargo.
Jesus.
What's he afraid of?
I don't know. I think something's happening in the sewers.
Sure, he's fine. Yes, the key.
Something's blocking it.
Help me! Somebody! What the hell?
Let us out. Who's out there?
It won't work in all cases, but you are skilled enough that your pick should make short work of most locks.
Let us out.
Neat. Mm-hmm. There we go.
To test the tensile strength on the grapple.
Could it be dangerous?
The advantages are worth the risk. It gives me a higher vantage point and the drop on my enemies.
Very sensible, sir.
Yippee! Okay. Someone's gonna need a new suit after this.
Listen, why would I hurt you?
I don't know what's going on. Just put down the gun, all right?
I can't do that, Mac. Just let me through and you never see me again.
Couldn't even if I wanted to. I don't have the key.
And how the hell did you get over there?
From the far side. Listen, I don't know what you guys are doing, but if I don't seal off the main valve, we could have a real disaster on our hands.
Your problems ain't mine. Open this damn door.
I can't stay here.
You're not going anywhere. Hey, hey, come back here. Hey, can you hear me? Come on back. I'm not gonna hurt you. Hello?
You can come out.
Whoa, what are you?
I'm here to help. I need to get deeper into the sewers.
What's going on down here? These tunnels are filled
I
with
look trustworthy.
whatever you are.
I don't have time to explain.
None of us do. Nobody's supposed to be here. The only reason I am is to survey for tomorrow's repair crew. The release valve on the dock's steam pipes rusted shut. If anybody opened up all the feed pipes, the whole system could burst.
Would anybody be hurt?
Probably not, but it would be pretty dramatic. And real expensive.
How do I get to the feed pipes?
There's a door behind you. The keypad code is my anniversary.
Well, I like drama and I have money, so...
You're not gonna do anything crazy, are
Do
you?
I look like I'd do something crazy? Where you are is as safe as you're gonna get. Keep your head down and wait for dawn.
Oh, man. I should have called in sick today.
I have a feeling that Wayne Enterprises will be writing a check tomorrow to the God and Water Authority for steam damage.
Just leave me a blank place to sign. And the feed pipe valves?
There are 3 of them. I've located them on your radar, sir.
Oh, he did not give us a code. Or did he give us a code after all? What other screen for such? One, 227. Yes. Oh. Did I just overthink this completely? Yes, I did.
Then I wish you'd hurry up and get the rest of it down here. Whatever's going on with these pipes is freaking me out.
You and me both. It's no news to anybody that the dock's off his rocker, but insisting on taking the shipment through the sewers is a new level of paranoia.
I've heard rumors that the doctor's half of Falcone's shipment ain't recreational.
Yeah, there's all sorts of talk going around. All I know is, the sooner we're through with the job and out of here, the better.
That's a dead bat. That's not be good.
I need to test the tensile strength on grapple.
No. The entire sewer section.
It gives me a higher vantage point and the drop on my enemies.
Very sensible.
Why would I hurt you?
I don't know what's going on. Just put down the gun, all right?
I can't do that, Mac. Just let me through and you never see me again.
Couldn't even if I wanted to.
This can't be happening.
You can come out.
Whoa, what are you?
I'm here to help. I need to get deeper into the sewers.
What's going on down here? These tunnels are filled with armed men and now you. Whatever you are.
I don't have time to explain.
None of us do. Nobody's supposed to be here.
I don't have time to watch another unskippable cutscene.
On the dock's steam pipes rusted shut. If anybody opened up all the feed pipes, the whole system could burst.
Would anybody be hurt?
Probably not, but it would be pretty dramatic. And real expensive.
How do I get to the feed pipes?
There's a door behind you. The keypad code is my anniversary. 1227. You're not gonna do anything crazy, are you?
Do I look like I'd do something crazy? Where you are is as safe as you're gonna get. Keep your head down and wait for dawn.
Oh man, I should have called in sick today.
I have a feeling that Wayne Enterprises will be writing a check tomorrow to the Gotham Water Authority for steam damage.
Just leave me a blank place to sign. And the feed pipe valves?
There are 3 of them. I've located them on your radar, sir.
Well, checkpoint would be mighty fine, right about here.
Then I wish you'd hurry up and get the rest of it down here. Whatever's going on with these pipes is freaking me out.
You and me both. It's no news to anybody that the dock's off his rocker, but insisting on taking the shipment through the sewers is a new level of paranoia.
I've heard rumors that the doctor's half of Falcone's shipment ain't recreational.
Yeah, there's all sorts of talk going around. All I know is, the sooner we're through with the job and out of here, the better.
This place is a frickin' death trap. We gotta get out of here. You kidding? Falcone, kill us.
The sphere system is pretty rad. It's a neat idea.
Hey, Andy said you saw what was inside one of them rabbits.
Yeah.
So?
So what?
So don't be so mysterious. What is it?
You got me. Not the stuff Falcone pushes.
What did it look like?
White, like powdered sugar. The guy who split it open was wearing a face mask and rubber gloves up to his elbows.
Sounds serious.
But can I do anything about it? Why? I don't think there's a takedown option.
No.
Okay, if it puts me back at the sewer entrance, continue that checkpoint. Oh. I really dislike doors that you cannot even interact with. Not even a, yeah, this one's blocked or barricaded, or that leads somewhere I don't have to go.
Hey, Andy said you saw what was inside one of them rabbits.
Yeah.
So?
So what?
So don't be so mysterious. What is it?
You got me.
Why are
Not
you
the stuff
so
Falcone pushes.
mysterious?
What did it look like?
White, like powdered sugar. The guy who split it open was wearing a face mask and rubber gloves up to his elbows.
Sounds serious.
This ain't right. Look out! Damn it! This can't be happening.
Ain't scared of you.
Why would he be under the influence of the... I mean, it's cool and all, but... Why would he be high on fear gas?
Hey, you buy that boat yet?
You kidding me? On a cop's salary? Yeah, I bought the boat. Me and the wife are taking it over to Coast City next weekend.
Nice.
How about you? What are you doing with your bonus?
I got an ex-wife and 3 kids in college. You want to talk about robbery?
Yeah, thank God in Gotham for Falcone's piggy bank.
What would the law do without him?
Oh yeah, sure they didn't see that.
Look out! Run! Run!
Sure, nobody would get hurt.
So what's with the rabbits?
Because Falcone can't just ship in clear plastic baggies. He's got the cops in his pocket, not the whole damn city.
But I thought bears were his thing.
They are. The rabbits are something new. The bears are standard powder. They go straight to the dealers.
And the rabbits?
They go somewhere in the Narrows.
What does that mean?
That's all I know. I tried to push further. Falcone told me not to stick my nose anywhere it might get cut off.
Ew, we really stepped in it. Now what? Oh. Batman, master of stealth. Crunch, crunch.
Hey.
Alfred, I need encryption prefixes.
Right away, Master Bruce. You should be able to get into the machinery systems now.
Why not just make it context sensitive to begin with? Oh god. Nobody notices this, huh?
This is messed up. What?
You know who I work for?
Oh no, who my union rep is.
Tell me about the rabbits.
I don't know anything.
It's funny. I believe you. Who does know?
Falcone's playing his cards close to his chest. Whoever he's working for's got him spooked.
Somebody knows.
His advocate. His, you know, what do you call it? Consigliere. He'd know. Falcone tells him everything.
How do I find him?
He's the only guy in the docks in a $500 suit who's not Falcone.
What scares him?
I don't know. Falcone. Small spaces. He could tell you everything.
Whee!
What are you doing over here?
Sorry, what do you mean?
Ain't you supposed to be Falcone's right-hand man?
I had to get some air. They went down to the ship's hold, and I'm not, comfortable with small spaces.
Uh-huh. You know anything about Falcone's guy in the Narrows? I heard.
It would be best if you didn't ask.
Sure. Whatever.
No! No! Please! Let me out! The walls! Please! I can't stand this!
You come out when you talk.
Please! Anything! Just let me out!
I want to know about bears and rabbits.
It's how Falcone smuggles his shipments in. The bears go to dealers, the rabbits are something new.
What are they?
I don't know what's in them. It's serious. They go to some guy in the Narrows.
What guy?
I don't know his name. Falcone's more secretive than he's been about anything before. He's some kind of doctor. I think he works at Arkham.
How do I find Falcone's shipment?
It's mostly been divided up already. Please let me out.
Falcone's shipment. How do I find it?
White Falcons. They're spray painted on his crates. I can't. I can't.
I just can't, man.
That sounds like evidence.
Falcone's crates.
Exactly.
I believe a large number are in the hold of the container ship docked nearby.
Perfect.
Oh no. Let's see what they gave us as a checkpoint, but if it takes us back a while, I'm comfortable calling the session here. Oh no. Still though, it's been just about 3 hours, and this game is neat in terms of what it does and doesn't do. Like, we played a bunch of turrets today, and this is perfectly playable, if a little dull. But I guess, like, a few years before Arkham Asylum, when this came out, I'm sure folks were really happy that there was a Batman game that was a little stealth, that was a little action. This fear system is pretty good and also meshes well with the theme of the movie. Yeah, so good on them for doing a little better by the license. Anyway, that should do it for today. Next time we are gonna be playing some further excursions into different genres, particularly beat 'em ups, because there have been a couple of ones that feature Batman and other heroes by DC. So yeah, that's on the docket for next time. With that said, thank you all for watching, whether you were just lurking or chatting. I appreciate all of you. If you'd like to support the stream further, please consider hitting that follow button. I also have a Ko-fi, and you can find me on Twitter and Mastodon. Feedback and game suggestions, just drop them there. I'll be happy to look at anything that you would think would mesh well with the channel. I'll be back on Monday with aforementioned beat 'em ups. No, not beat 'em ups. Fighting games. We had plenty of beat 'em ups. Now it's time for one-on-one fighters. Anyway, until then, take care of yourself. Take care of the people around you. Wear a mask if you decide to go outside. And yeah, until next time. Goodbye.